republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And it is Monday, and we are back with Training Series Episode 12. And today we're going to be discussing establishing a training standard. Now, this is something, if you listen to my other podcast, my main podcast, I've probably mentioned, I know I've mentioned it before. But we're going to kind of come back to it in this series because we haven't discussed it before. So establishing a training standard. So when you get a gun and you go out and you start shooting it and you start training with it, like we've talked about training with intent, right? And so training with intent means you're going out there and focusing on what you're doing, not wasting your ammo. I mean, it's fun to mag dump and you can do that a little bit too, but getting something out of the process of going out and shooting. Now, one of the things that you can do to make those training sessions be more productive is establishing a training standard. So you could take one outing where you go shooting, and you can set up some different drills, right? Set up some different drills like draw and shoot. How long does it take me to draw the gun and get one shot on target? And have yourself a standard. So maybe you're shooting at a humanoid type target. Maybe you're shooting, just as whatever target it is, you have your parameters of where you want to hit. So maybe you got to get one shot in the A zone. How quickly can you do that? Now, this is something that, I don't know, I'm getting a little older and I kind of forget things. So it's nice to write this stuff down. Get yourself a shot timer. Go out, give yourself I would say, when you want to practice the draw, unloaded, practice, kind of get warmed up, and then give yourself the best out of 3 or the best out of 5 or whatever your standard is, right? So you're going to perform that. You're going to write all the times down, and then you're going to save the best one. And that is your training standard. That is your standard. That is your current time, your current score for draw to target, right? That is your training standard for that drill. Now, what do you need to do to get better at that? What do you need to do to increase that? Now, there's a ton of different drills. There is a dot torture drill that involves a separate target. You can look at that. You can perform all those dot tortures, run that entire drill. You can take a picture of that target and go, that's my training standard for this. Now, every time I do this, I want to get better. What can I do to improve? You're giving yourself benchmarks. You're giving yourself certain goals, right? Maybe it's something as simple as you have a target, you have a regular bullseye target, and now how quickly and how accurately can I take just 5 shots? 5 shots, nothing dynamic about it. You're standing there. You give yourself, let's say, 3 seconds or whatever it might be. You can go online. You can look up different training standards. You're going to give yourself 3 seconds, let's say, 5 shots. What is my score going to be on the target? How can I get 5 shots, on paper accurately in 3 seconds? You're going to perform that. Then you're going to take a picture of it. That is your training standard for that drill. So I'm not saying you have to have 1 million of these training standards, but it helps to see that you're improving, to show that you're getting out and that you are, it is worth your time and that you are improving. It gives you something to strive for. I mean, I know it's fun to go and shoot and just have a good time. I understand that, but it's also really fun to see improvement. It's also really fun to get better. And that's what we're doing when we go out and train. We're striving to get better. We're striving to get more proficient at our craft. You can do the same thing with mag changes. Figure out a drill there's tons of mag change drills out there. Figure out a drill for a mag change. There's one I do that's called it's called trigonometry. And I've got a special target made up for it. If anyone's been out here and they've experienced that drill, it is a target with a bunch of little, I don't know, it's like 1-inch circles or 2-inch circles on it, rows and rows and rows of them. And you have to take your time and take one shot and place one shot in every one of those. And so every one of those circles, and there's like 7, 14, there's like 20, I think there's like 24 circles or 7, I don't know, something like that. I'd have to look at one of the targets. I don't have one in front of me right now, but you can use that. So how far can you go before you pull a shot? Like, how accurate are you? Those are what you need. Set yourself up. So training standards simply are just goals. Set yourself up a goal. Strive for the goal. Give yourself something to achieve, something to reach for. And then once you've hit that goal, you're going to go to the next step, which is maybe you're going to make that another goal, and you're going to make it a little harder, or you're going to force yourself to beat the current time, your new time. And that's how we get better and better and better. So go out there, and like I said before, another podcast, train with intent. And by doing that, you need to go out there and set yourself up and establish a training standard for you. And then you need to keep pushing past those training standards, essentially creating a new bar or a new training standard. And that's how you get out there, and that's how you make all your shooting worthwhile. That's how you get better. Practice, practice, practice. I'll catch you guys next Monday. Thanks. Bye.